Oh, hey guys. Well, work's over with. It's been a rough day. A lot of things are rough right now. So if you're like me, you're looking at maybe 2 weeks of quarantine. So let's get to cooking. It's something everybody can do together, something we can all enjoy, and makes being at home a lot less stressful. So I'm gonna get cleaned up, gonna get my cooking attire on, and I'm gonna cook a wonderful meal. So y'all ready to go? Let's go. Right, so let's get started with dinner. Today's going to be pork chops with kind of like an apple chutney to go over top with garlic smashed potatoes. It's a really simple meal, really easy to make, and that's what I want to focus on tonight. Something that's really quick, put together, enjoy the rest of your night. So let's get started. We're going to start dicing everything first. We're going to start with 3 Granny Smith apples. I'm going to go ahead and just dice them up. Kind of a small dice. If you notice what I'm doing, I'm cutting around the core to use as much as the apple as we can. The recipe I found calls for 2 Granny Smith apples, but y'all know me, I got a lot of people to feed. As I've stated in previous episodes, always have a sharp knife. I went ahead and sharpened it before we started. It's okay to leave the peel on there. Just make sure you wash your apples really good. Also, while you're doing all your prep work, turn your skillets on. Make sure they're good and hot. You always want to start with a hot pan. If you start out with a cold pan, you're going to basically boil your food and you're not going to get a good sear on it, and that's where your flavor is most of the time. Okay, that is 3 Granny Smith apples cored and small diced. Now we're going to move on to onions. The recipe calls for a red onion, but I got what I can find. Because if you're like me, grocery stores are empty. I'm going to take that outside rind off. If you can salvage the outer layer, do so. I'm impatient, so I just peel it right off. Now, since I've got onions going, this is going to be for my potatoes. They're not going to be for the pork chop. The reason I'm doing this in my smashed garlic potatoes because this adds just a little bit of flavor. Or should I say a lot of flavor. All right, folks, there you go. 1 tear-free onion. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next onion. We're going to use this. I'm going to use this for the pork chops. Okay, folks. What you want to do is put your onion in the fridge for at least 30 minutes, freezer, maybe 15 minutes. You don't want to come out like you just watched the end of Infinity War.
Start? I don't feel so good.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
Not!
Now we're going to move on to the smashed garlic potatoes. I've got lots of garlic here. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5-ish cloves of garlic. We're not even going to dice it up or anything. We're just going to smash it. Now it's time to move on to dicing up the potatoes. Keep your skin on. You don't even have to cut them that small. These will be cooking while we are preparing our pork chops. Time to move on to the pork chops. I've got here 6, about an inch cut. That's fine because I'm going to be putting a lid on it and it's going to be simmering the rest of the way after I get a really nice golden sear. So what we want to do, we're going to add sage, salt and pepper to taste. A little heavy on the sage. Make sure we rub it in really good. Went ahead, pre-mixed my salt and pepper, my handy dandy shaker. Okay, got all 6 pork chops ready to go. We're going to put about a tablespoon of salt in our water. Get that going. We're going to start with our red potatoes. This is a whole 5 pounds. You want to get your potatoes going first. That way, after your pork chops come off the skillet, you have everything ready and resting when it cool down. Because you want to take it off 5 degrees lower than what it should, 160 degrees. Because as it rests, the temperature comes up, and that's how you avoid an overcooked pork chop. Most people don't know that. They're afraid to undercook it. Get to that 160 mark, let it rest, and good to go. I'm going to use a little bit of olive oil. The reason I'm using olive oil is because it has a higher smoke point. And that's that smoke point. Gently in the pan. Gently. That's going to be a really good sear. Let those cook 5 minutes. When your potatoes are boiling, take your diced onion and your smashed garlic, throw them together, let it cook together. That way all your flavor meshes quite well. Must stop talking like Shatner. It is annoying to do. Potatoes are almost done, so I'm going to add some heavy cream, sour cream, butter, about a half a stick, and a little bit of buttermilk. And you're going to whip it good. So as you can see, we have a really good sear on those pork chops. Caramelize it a little bit. Right now, this is the low period in this meal. Potatoes are cooking, pork chops are cooking. If you want to have a third dish, second side item to go with it, this would be a great time. This one, don't really need it. If I was going to make one, I'd do something green, side salad, maybe some green beans or asparagus on the grill. Or you can take asparagus and just steam it, throw it in your saucepan, a little bit of white wine, make a cream sauce and go over top. It'd be a really good compliment to this meal. But I didn't have that today, so I'm not doing that. Pork chops are about medium. There's a reason I'm pulling them off right now, and I'll show you in a minute. It's a good color on that. Pork chops are off. They're going to rest 5 minutes. During that 5 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and cook my apples and onions and make the sauce that accompanies this dish. Oil's heated back up. Good sizzle. Now we're going to throw our apples in. you saute these. Now?
Yeah.
A little bit higher heat on this. My brother got me this Cuisinart mixer for our birthday.
And what do we got on this thing? A Cuisinart? No, sir.
Mine was last week. His was 2 weeks ago. Mom really hated us. I'm gonna go ahead and add 1 more teaspoon of chopped garlic, and let's use it. Oh, this thing's awesome. Y'all need to get one. So I'm gonna add a little bit of my mix, about half, which is more than a little bit, but I was never good at math. Okay, we're going to leave this on setting number 1. Just let it blend. Apples and onions are done. This is apple cider vinegar. About 3/4 of a cup. Now we're going to cover it for 1 minute. Potatoes are a little dry, so I'm going to add the rest. Now we're going to crank it up to 3. Just let it mix. So the pork chops that have been resting, we're going to pour all that juice in there. Apples. You can hear my mixer going in the background. Should be about done. Cover it. Put it on low. 5 minutes. Now it's time to add the salt. I'm going to start with 1 teaspoon. Take that off your sides. Put back down. Back on 3. That's freaking tasty. Okay, so this happens all the time in the kitchen. It didn't turn out quite the way you thought it would. However, I'm getting ready to fix that problem. This is a very inexpensive emulsion blender. I'm getting ready to make a sauce out of this. What I'm about ready to do, I'm going to take about half of this. That's good. And then just a touch of water. That is a apple onion sauce on the bottom with smashed garlic potatoes, pan-seared sage rub pork chop with the topping of the onions and the apples, a little bit of sauce on top. I hope it tastes as good as it looks because I'm hungry, so let's eat. Hope everybody enjoyed watching that. This is my version of a pan-seared pork chop rubbed with sage with garlic smashed potatoes with onions and apples sauteed on top. I really hope it looks as good. Do that again. I really hope this tastes as good as it looks because I'm hungry, so let's go eat.